What if, the most important survival skill isn't strength, speed, or even knowledge, but adaptability? Because when things go wrong, and honestly, they always do, the people who succeed aren't the ones with the perfect plan. They're the ones who can change the plan without falling apart. In World War II, survival didn't go to the strongest or the smartest alone. It went to those who could adjust quickly, think clearly under pressure, and adapt to constantly changing conditions. And today that same principle applies, not just in extreme situations, but in everyday life too. So, in this video, we're breaking down how to stay adaptable, how to think, act, and respond when things don't go as expected. Let's start with something most people don't like to hear. Plans fail, not because they're bad, but because reality changes. Weather shifts, conditions evolve, information is incomplete, and when your plan breaks, you have two choices: freeze or adapt. Many people freeze because they become attached to the plan. They expect things to go a certain way, and when they don't, confusion sets in. But adaptable people, they're a bit different. They don't cling to the plan. Instead, they focus on the objective. Objective over method. Now, this is a key mindset shift. You see, the plan is not the goal. The goal is the goal. If your objective is to stay safe, reach a location, or solve a problem, there are many ways to achieve it. Adaptable people constantly ask themselves, what am I trying to accomplish? Is this method still working? What else can I do? And when one approach fails, they switch without hesitation. Stay calm under pressure. Adaptability, it starts with calm thinking. When stress hits, your body wants to react fast, but not always smart. Your heart rate rises, your thinking narrows. This is where most people lose adaptability. They panic, they rush, they make poor decisions. To stay adaptable, you must slow down your thinking, control your breathing, focus on the situation, not your emotions. Calm thinking creates options. Panic, on the other hand, eliminates them. Observe before you act. One of the most powerful habits you can build is actually quite simple. Pause. Just take a moment, observe, and then act. In fast-changing situations, acting too quickly can, sometimes make things worse. Adaptable individuals, they take a moment to assess the environment, identify changes, and spot new opportunities. They gather information before making decisions. Even a few seconds of observation can honestly lead to much better outcomes. Flexibility in thinking. Rigid thinking, as I've learned, is really the enemy of adaptability. If you believe there's only one right way to do something, you're, in a way, limiting yourself. Adaptable people, they think differently. They consider multiple solutions, stay open to new ideas, and accept that conditions change. They're willing to say, this isn't working. Let's try something else. Flexibility, it creates resilience. Embrace discomfort. Adaptability often requires stepping outside your comfort zone. New situations, they feel unfamiliar, uncertain, uncomfortable even. But avoiding discomfort, it actually limits your ability to adjust. Adaptable people accept discomfort as part of the process. They don't wait for things to feel perfect, they move forward anyway. because you know growth and survival happens outside comfort. Learn to improvise. Improvisation is, well, the practical side of adaptability. It's the ability to use what you have, to solve problems in the moment. Back in World War II, soldiers often had to repair equipment with limited tools, navigate unfamiliar terrain, and solve problems without instructions. They adapted by improvising. You can train this skill by practicing with limited resources, solving everyday problems creatively, and, asking yourself, what else can I use? Improvisation turns limitations into opportunities. Expect change. One of the simplest ways to stay adaptable is to honestly just expect change. If you assume everything will go perfectly, you'll be caught off guard. But if you expect things to shift, you're ready. Adaptable people plan for change. They build flexibility into their thinking. They prepare for delays, obstacles, and unexpected challenges. When change comes, they're not surprised. They're ready. Control what you can. In any situation, some things are simply out of your control. Weather, other people, external events. Focusing on these just creates frustration. Adaptable individuals focus on what they can control, their actions, their decisions, their attitude. This keeps them grounded and effective. Control creates stability. Keep it simple. Complex plans are just harder to adapt. Simple plans, on the other hand, are much easier to adjust as things change. Adaptable people, they avoid unnecessary complexity. They focus on clear goals, basic steps, and flexible approaches. When things change, simple systems are just easier to modify. Complex ones, they tend to break. Learn from every situation. Adaptability, it really improves with experience. Every challenge you face, it teaches you something, even if it doesn't seem like it at first. Adaptable people, they reflect on their experiences. What worked, what didn't, and what would I do differently next time? They use these lessons to improve bit by bit. Over time, this builds both confidence and capability. Stay physically and mentally ready. Adaptability, it requires energy. If you're exhausted, stressed, or just overwhelmed, it becomes so much harder to adjust. Take care of your physical condition and your mental state. Rest when you need it. Stay hydrated. Manage your stress. A strong body and a clear mind, they really do improve your ability to adapt. Avoid tunnel vision. Under stress, it's easy to focus too narrowly. You might fixate on one solution and just ignore alternatives. This is called tunnel vision. Adaptable people, though, they actively avoid it. They step back and ask themselves, what am I missing? Are there other options? This broader perspective, it really leads to better decisions. Use small adjustments. Adaptability doesn't always mean big changes. Quite often, it's the small adjustments that make the difference. Change your position, adjust your timing, modify your approach. These small shifts can improve outcomes without any drastic action. Think in terms of continuous adjustment, fine-tuning, and, staying responsive. Small changes keep you aligned with reality. Stay decisive. Adaptability is not hesitation. It's the ability to decide and adjust if needed. Some people, they overthink. They delay action because they want the perfect solution. But in real situations, perfection just doesn't exist. Adaptable people. They make decisions, act on them, and adjust if necessary. Action creates momentum. Build confidence through practice. Confidence, supports adaptability. When you trust your ability to handle situations, you adapt more easily. Build confidence by practicing skills, facing challenges, and learning from mistakes. Experience, it really reduces fear. And less fear means better adaptability. Stay aware of your environment. Awareness is the foundation of adaptability. If you don't notice changes, you can't respond to them. Stay alert to environmental shifts, new risks, and opportunities. Awareness gives you time to adjust. And time, honestly, is one of your most valuable resources. Accept imperfection. Adaptability is not about getting everything right. It's about adjusting when things go wrong. Mistakes will happen. The key is to recognize them, learn from them, and move forward. Perfection slows you down. Adaptability keeps you moving. Bringing it all together. Let's simplify everything into core principles. Focus on the objective, not the plan. Stay calm under pressure. Observe before acting. Think flexibly. Embrace discomfort. Improvise with what you have. Expect change. Control what you can. Keep things simple. Learn from experience. Stay aware. Adjust continuously. Act decisively. These are the foundations of adaptability. Final thoughts. The world is unpredictable. Situations change, conditions shift, plans fail, but adaptability gives you an advantage. It allows you to stay in control, even when things don't go your way. It turns problems into opportunities, and it transforms uncertainty into something manageable. Because in the end, survival and success doesn't belong to the strongest. It belongs to those who can adjust, adapt, and keep moving forward. If you value practical, real-world skills and want to build the kind of mindset that works under pressure, be sure to subscribe and share this video with someone who understands that the ability to adapt is the ability to survive.